This meeting is being recorded.
Hi, Shweta. Good morning. Welcome to this session. We are recording this for the benefit of our audience, and I'm very, very pleased to have you with us today. Thank you so much for agreeing to join this session.
Thanks, Vikas. Good morning, everybody. And I'm very privileged and, very happy to give this interview with you today.
So let me just spend a couple of minutes introducing Shweta to everybody who's watching this. Shweta hails from a small town in North Karnataka, and from that background, now she is in Bangalore and has been there, done that, so to speak, in the corporate world. She has worked for some of the top names that we hear all the time in MNC world. So she's at the moment working as a product manager, or I would say that, based on what my conversation with her was last time, it's more like a group product manager role. So she's working with GE Healthcare right now. Before that, she has worked with Wells Fargo. And before that, she has also worked with the pioneer of IT industry in India, which is none other than Infosys. And during her stint with Infosys, I believe she's also worked on a project for Apple. Is that right, Shweta? You were with an Apple project, right? So she's even seen Steve Jobs in person and attended a town hall where Steve Jobs was addressing all the teammates. So I think she's been there, done that, seen it all, and she believes very, very strongly in the importance and power of communication skills and the English language. So I think that is, and in addition to that, she has a lot of other insights and wisdom to share. But I think today's meeting, we will try and focus on the aspect of communication skills. So Shweta, before we jump into the topic on hand, I would like you to just quickly walk us through your journey from your school days until now. How has language and communication played a role, and what have been the different milestones that you've gone through?
No, absolutely. I mean, extraordinary and a lot of things you said about me, just now, Vikas, that's a lot. I wasn't looking at myself with 15 years of experience and all that I have traveled through. Thank you for, taking me down the memory lane. And like many others, I started off from a small town, and very soon I realized English as a language makes a lot of difference in the career that I want to achieve. I wanted to be either a doctor or an engineer, like many 80s and 90s kids. That was the passion. So either of it, I had to have very good communication. I kind of got into a high school of English medium, whereas I had done my primary in Kannada medium, and post that I got into engineering college in Mandya PES, and completing the graduation was really a big milestone from where I come, right? Not many, were really going out and about, getting out of the small towns and doing what I was doing at that point of time. And it's been a great journey, I would say. I mean, my parents were always there to support me with, my tantrums of not studying in Kannada medium versus English medium, or probably my tantrum of going to the electronics and communication engineering in itself, even if it requires me to get out of Dharwad, Hubli, where actually you have very good universities. So I've been privileged and I've been, supported enough by my family to kind of, reach where I've reached.
Fantastic. Yeah. In fact, I remember the last time we spoke, you were in your hometown and you were sitting in your dad's cloth merchandising shop. I could see so many colorful, pieces of cloth behind you. So just so that our audience knows, so you come from a background where your parents or extended family have never probably experienced a corporate job, quote unquote, right? So
Right.
that is the kind of background that
Right.
you've come from, and now today working for multinationals like GE, Wells Fargo, Infosys. So I think it's remarkable, commendable. I think I'm falling short of words to actually highlight the fact that you've done what you've done in life. So, so moving forward, tell us a little bit about your tryst with communication skills, because you've written a post on LinkedIn also highlighting the importance of communication skills. In fact, several posts.
Right.
One of them I was just reading before this meeting, where you were talking about vocabulary, right? And that is so insightful.
Right.
That vocabulary is something that we build over a period of years, and then if we don't use it on a day-to-day basis, sometimes some part of our vocabulary just dies away, and we don't have that vocabulary any longer. We lose it. So those kind of insights,
Right.
they tell me that you have a thought process about communication skills in general, especially in your domain of software development and product management, which is quote unquote regarded by many as a very technical function, which is very far removed from communication
Right.
skills. So why should anybody who's a software developer or a product manager even bother about communication skills? Why is it important?
Now, I'll tell you some of the nice examples and from various stages of my career. Okay, so let's say when I was a junior developer, right? So
Right.
all I'm supposed to see, I'm on that job because I'm capable of developing in certain language, right? So it can be Java, Python, or at that time C, C plus as well. So now all I'm going to report to my team lead would be, this is the piece of code I have written and this is how it is going to work. There's no more communication that I'm doing at that point of time. But still, let's say you have become a developer with about 2 to 3 years experience, communication does become important. Let's say there's a issue going on in the production application and you are the developer who is fixing this bug. So there's a stakeholder probably who is in US, and you'll write an email saying that I'm developing this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to debug this, and then I'm just going to let you know if it works. Versus, we have done this fix in many scenarios outside this module and it has worked. Let me fix it the same way and get back to you. So how powerful is this communication, and how confident is this communication from using your words like, I'll just do this and then I'll let you know. So not only are you saying that you're not confident about what you're doing, you're also making the person who is leading you and is responsible for making sure the bug is resolved and the application is back in place, very unconfident of you. So definitely very soon in the career, even if you're a junior or a fresher or few years experience developer yourself or even an individual contributor needs to communicate very effectively. When I say communicate effectively, it does not mean you use big words. You don't have to use very complex English language words. The fact is how effectively and how to the point you communicate what you're doing or what you want to do. And that gives you immense confidence, and it'll help you grow faster as well. Second would be like, let's say now the scenario wherein you're like mid senior experienced, or like right now I'm leading a team and I'm also reporting to senior level management in my company, who are actually going to make a difference by bringing in their ideas and things like that. So there are two kinds of communication I'm leading with. I'm talking to a person who doesn't know what it takes to be a here, or probably what are the things that you need to do at my level. And I'm talking to a person who has gone beyond me and is doing something to make a difference at the organization level. Now I need to be empathetic about both the set of people. I need to share a commonality with a junior developer who is going to bring in something different from when I was a junior developer, versus I need to cooperate with a senior manager who is thinking something really big because he has seen industry in a very different way. So I would say, to summarize, irrespective of which experience you come from in IT industry, effective communication is key to your success. And definitely vocabulary adds on. I mean, while you were talking about the post I wrote, vocabulary is important. And that post was more of like apart from IT though. So what I
Right.
was feeling is I talk with the team members in IT so much, and all of my language would be like product strategy roadmap, which does not appeal to somebody who is working for an NGO, right? So I do go for a yoga class, or probably outside IT, when you go talk about things, it's very different. You're in a tricky situation wherein you don't have ideas beyond your IT mannerism, or probably the words are all about these keywords that you use in your industry. So that's where I feel more often you get out and get that vocabulary from all verticals of people, and probably develop that kind of communication, effective communication.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So that is, I think, a fantastic insight, especially like the way you gave the example that when you just say that, okay, this is something which is broken and I'm going to fix it, versus saying that, this is something broken, but we have done this before. This is a common issue. We've handled it, and now we're going to fix it in the same way. Is it okay with you? That just the thought process behind it becomes so much more clear and gives so much more confidence to your stakeholder. So I agree 100% that communication is language plus the thought process that you bring with you to the table, right? So language is of course one part of it,
Right.
but then you have to go beyond language and start thinking deeply about what you're communicating to the other person to be able to make an impact. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that insight. And I think it applies on every level, whether you're a fresher, whether you're a team leader, whether you are a senior management leader. It applies on every level, right? So now, in your present role, Shweta, you're leading global teams which are dispersed across geographies, across time zones, different expectations, different cultures and contexts. So, do you feel as a
Yeah.
leader, the storytelling part of it, the narrative, like what you were saying, that you have to translate the vision into something tangible for your team to work on and achieve milestones. So that
Right.
middle portion of creating that narrative for your team and then also communicating it further with the leadership, how does that play a role in the storytelling part of it?
No, absolutely right. I mean, storytelling is really important, more so when you are in a leadership role, mid-senior roles, right? Like me, you got to look at what company is driving for this year. Let's say they just want to achieve XYZ, and why belongs to where you're working in your area. Why is what you got to do, and probably leadership has already put a path forward. They have a strategy put up, roadmap put up for you, and probably these are the things to achieve. Now you are the middle person who is going to take it and formulate into a small modules, probably which appeals to individual person in your team. So let's say I'll go ahead and tell I work on a product which has intelligent automation. Okay, so I definitely have some thought process this year that I just need to grow it from so and so, and I probably have to approach these set of people and probably look at the areas where automation can be done, etc. Now that's not something my junior developer would be even able to relate to. He or she understands what we want to do, but what is it that that person has to bring in? Now that's where we have to kind of break it down into smaller modules and say, for all the developers we are going to have these milestones, right? The Improve the code, probably that you're writing, probably standardize it, use some of the utilities that are available in the product to make the automation better, or many things like that. So you have to break it into smaller modules and probably talk to the person. So at this level, not only that you're giving the modules and asking people to work, you also got to motivate them. So how do you motivate them? So you got to tell them that the piece of code that you're writing is going to make a difference and run in real time and get so much of profit. Right now, that's something the developer might not have gathered, right? So that's where you are. You are to make sure that your every team member, whatever they do is kind of, adding value, and it is showcased. So a lot of time, you can do email etiquettes, wherein you can always talk to person very politely. Your email etiquettes are very important at this level. Not only are you going to talk to a junior developer wherein you're going to motivate the person to do what they're doing every day, you're also going to talk to a senior member and say, hey, don't worry, everything is under control and we can take this further. So there's a
Right.
lot of like one level less and one level up communication that's happening on daily basis. And yeah, it's a learning process.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So I think that puts really in context the importance of communication skills. And if you express it this way, the way you just expressed, it almost starts feeling that this is the core of success in a technology job as well, right? Once you're in a middle senior level role, the core pillar of your success could actually be the way you communicate, upward and downward management of that expectation,
Right.
and ensuring that the team is motivated and is able to relate to end of the day, if I'm a developer, I'm writing a piece of code for project A, B, C, and if I keep looking at it in a transactional way, that doesn't really matter. It's a piece of code. But when my manager, for
Right.
example, Shweta, tells me that this piece of code that you're writing today is going to make a difference in a patient's life, at some point in time, and suddenly that same
Right.
piece of code appears different to me, right? That's the power that the
Right.
story which you tell your team can make, can make a difference.
Right.
I think that's where the communication skills come into the picture for a technology leader like you. So wonderful, Shweta. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us today. I'm sure I want to ask you a whole lot of other questions also, but we'll keep it limited to this today, and maybe meet again for another interview and share that with our audience at another point in time. Thank you so much, Shweta, for joining us.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thank you so much, Vikas. You have a great day.
You too. Bye.